Welcome to Fire Safety in School, presented to you by the Oneida Herkimer Madison BOCES Safety Services. Why is fire safety so important? Unfortunately, history of fires in schools has taught us that tragic school fires can happen. In just these 4 school fires alone, 641 students and staff lost their lives. In order to prevent tragedies like these from happening again, fire protection professionals across the U.S. have taken the lessons learned from these tragedies and shaped the way we create safer classrooms today. For example, in New York State, schools are required to conduct 8 evacuation drills annually, perform annual fire inspections, and include training for staff and students throughout the year. During an annual fire inspection, inspectors are required to walk through and enforce the fire codes and regulations to comply with New York State standards for fire safety in schools. We will present an overview of some of the common violations and important requirements for staff to remember. Ensure your evacuation map is posted by the door at eye level and review the plan for evacuating the building with students as soon as possible in the school year. Not only do these need to be posted in classrooms, but throughout the building. Think in advance of a secondary escape route if your main escape route is blocked or compromised. You should review the evacuation map with students at the beginning of the school year. Classroom doors are your first way out. Doors should not be covered with combustible materials. This creates a hazard by adding fuel in the event of a fire. Please be sure to keep doors clear from any posters, decorations, or papers. All doors must be free from decoration, and furnishings should never obstruct the exit. Classroom doors, stair, or corridor doors are required to have vision panels and must not be covered. However, the Office of Facilities Planning has permitted temporary covering of vision panels in classroom doors in an emergency. The temporary covering of vision panels must be written board policy and included in the building level emergency plan. Rescue windows are the second means of egress out of your room in an emergency situation. They must be clearly labeled with a rescue window sign, and if you have window coverings that may cover the sign, then the window covering must also be labeled. Always maintain clearance in front of the rescue window and never decorate it. This will help rescue personnel look into windows if necessary in an emergency, and for anyone in the room to clearly identify which window is the rescue window in an emergency situation. In addition, it is good practice to operate your window regularly to ensure that it is always in working order. Classroom decorations are considered a must by teachers and students who love to show off their hard work. Unfortunately, there are limits to how many decorations we are allowed to use at one time. No more than 50% of a wall can be covered with decorations, papers, and posters in a classroom. Can light filter shades be installed under ceiling light fixtures? No, the fixtures need to be tested as an assembly with the light fixtures. Modifying the fixture may void the original listing or labeling. Couches, pillows, chairs, cushions, curtains, bean bags, or fabric banners that do not meet fire rating requirements are not allowed. Any decor necessary for the classroom should be provided by the district. If you need to bring something in that the district has not provided, you should first speak to your facilities manager and/or supervisor. Items must be treated to ensure they meet fire rating requirements. Not only is fire safety a concern, but by reducing fabric-covered materials, you are eliminating hiding spots for bed bugs and other critters. Blocked doors. Can you find your way out in a fire or emergency? Exits cannot be blocked or obstructed by anything, including desks and tables. These photos are examples of exits being blocked or obstructed. In addition to not blocking exits, it is important to not place combustible items in the egress path. Before you place an item in an exit or exitway, Think of what it would be like to try to escape from a burning, smoke-filled building with 50 other very panicked individuals, mostly children, and your primary exit is severely hindered or blocked. Student artwork can take up no more than 20% of the corridor, and nothing can be hung from the ceiling. Hallways are an important part of your evacuation route and your first means of egress. They should always be maintained and free of obstructions. They should not have any furniture or storage items that will pose a risk in the event of an emergency that could create issues with evacuating the building if needed. Student artwork is allowed but is limited to 20% of the corridor, and nothing shall be hung from the ceiling. Both these photos are examples of impressive artwork, but unfortunately, they represent many fire code violations. Doors should not be propped open. Doors should be kept closed and locked at all times to ensure building safety and security.
A single power strip is allowed as long as it is UL approved and plugged directly into the outlet and not plugged into another power strip, also known as daisy chaining. Extension cords are only to be used temporarily. UL approved and must be plugged directly into an outlet and not another power strip or extension cord. They should always be unplugged when not in use. String lights must be UL listed, have no more than 3 linked or chained together. 1 plug equals 1 outlet. Home appliances should be left home, including toaster ovens, candle warmers, air fresheners, as well as any other item strictly prohibited by your district's policy. Any appliance, such as refrigerators, microwaves, or coffee pots, with a high amperage draw should be plugged directly into a wall outlet. Never use a power strip to plug in these appliances. Storage must be orderly and of useful and valuable. If there are items that are no longer needed, please be sure to dispose of them or have them removed. Thank you for keeping our schools safe. This concludes a training module on fire safety. Please contact your supervisor if you have any additional questions or concerns. Thank you again.